So I wanted to make this video to talk about AI. And my question is what to do about AI. I think AI has got really good at writing code in the past 5 months. We really need to talk about it. And as an example here, you guys obviously all know Claude Code, and Boris, who is one of the creators of Claude Code, they recently released Claude Cowork, which is kind of like Claude Code, but for the rest of your job, I guess, of the rest of the things that you do. And somebody asked him how much of the code for Cowork was written by basically Claude. And Boris said it's all of it. And someone doubted him and said it's unlikely that everything was done by Claude Code. And Boris doubled down and said, well, it was not zero intervention. We had to plan, design, go back and forth, but the code itself was all written by Claude. And I think we really need to think about this for a couple of reasons. One, 6 months ago, I believe that was not possible. It was not possible for a really good model. We didn't have this really good model that can build these huge features on its own. So that has changed, and we really need to think about what that means for us. Second, it's very important what Boris said here. It was not without zero intervention. We had to plan, design, and go back and forth with Claude, but writing the code itself was done by the model. Now, this really reminded me of, I prepared something nice here, of this movie. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie or not, but I think it was a really cool movie. So in this movie, it was about the women who were human calculators during Friendship 2 space mission. And these women, their job was to basically run all the crazy calculations and the complex calculations that were needed for the scientists to basically plan the orbit of the landing and so on and so forth. And what happened is, I don't remember which one was the heroine, but basically what happened is, computers were being invented basically. And one of the ladies realized that the computers are going to do their job so fast that they have to keep up. And she was the one who taught herself how to use Fortran programming language, and kind of like helped her friends upgrade themselves from being human calculators to computer operators. And you can think about it that the people who resisted that change, for example, who insisted to just be human calculators, no longer were relevant when the computers were invented. But the people who tried to upgrade themselves to learn Fortran and become operators of the computers, which is in this case those 3 women who led the whole thing, these people kind of like got to live another day with their jobs basically. And I think this is a very good analogy for what we're going through right now. If your job is to do nothing else but write code, if you just write code, you are in danger. You are in danger. If you do other things as well, then I think we will be fine. And I think this is very important to understand that what you do in your job is really not to just write code. And this is the reason also why it's really hard to hire a junior developer now, because honestly, a lot of junior developers do nothing but write code. And if that you do is nothing but writing code, I think it's really time to rethink your approach to work, and it's really time to rethink your position in the job market. And in fact, if you are a really good software developer, you do a lot more things. You need to plan, you need to design, you need to make decisions, you need to think about product value. You need to if you get to, you need to manage people, build teams. There's so many things. Think about AI, like I'm doing right now. Think about AI and how that affects companies and how that affects the way we do work. There is so many things to do other than just writing code. And I think that's really important to reflect on and think about. You're never going to be as fast as the models when it comes to writing code, but the models will never be able to, or I'll never say that again. At the moment, the models can't do everything on their own. They still have to be guided and steered by us. And the idea is you either learn Fortran like these ladies did and operate these models, or be left in the dust. There is no way we can compete with these models in purely writing code. But there is a way to become much, much more productive if you do all these things and leave the model to write the actual code. And honestly, that is so exciting for me. Because, that means I don't have to obsess about what the code looks like as much, as long as it's high quality enough and meets the bar and the tests are passing and I understand it, then it's fine. I don't have to worry about state management in React anymore as much as I used to before. Because honestly, for the past 3 months, everything I've built, I rarely touched the front end. The model just did it. And I reviewed it, it was fine, and I let it go. So now I get to do the fun stuff only. Isn't that crazy? I love that. So I get to do the planning, the designing, making the decisions, thinking about how to add value, what problems to solve. And honestly, it's been mind-blowing. It's a whole new world. And I love it. But if you are stuck writing code, I think you're not going to make it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.